Hello, everyone. Glad to be here in your presence. An honor to be at such a wonderful event for such a wonderful cause. Today, we're going to see something that simply has never been seen before. At least I've never seen it before. We will have the Mozart of chess, Magnus Carlsen, playing a blindfold match, but a tandem, 3 people at the same time match against 3 victims, let's just call it that. Magnus needs no introduction. He is one of the greatest chess talents the world has ever seen. At 13 years old, we have a photo of him at 13, he was already the 2nd youngest grandmaster in history. He also drew Garry Kasparov at the tender age of 13, and he also defeated former world champion Anatoly Karpov at the age of 13. A little bit of a slacker. Well, again, he needs no introduction, but please welcome one of the greatest chess players, greatest chess minds in history, Magnus Carlsen. Thank you, Magnus. Now, what you're about to watch Magnus do, playing 3 people blindfold, grandmasters, I'm a grandmaster. I've done some exhibitions before. I've played blindfold chess before. But Magnus is going to play a clock blindfold. That is, he's going to have 9 minutes total to play the entire game against 3 people. That means on average, he will have 3 minutes per game that he will have to defeat all these players in 3 minutes. Magnus, you ready for this?
I've never done this before, so I wouldn't know.
All right. Well, with that introduction, let's bring out his challengers. We have 3 illustrious challengers. In the green room, I will tell you, they all look terrified. Please have a seat, gentlemen. We have tables 1, 2, and 3. To my far left, okay. Chris Flowers, Wall Street financier. He was responsible for helping during the crisis, helping with AIG and the bailout. Chris says that his wife speaks Swedish, so if he loses today, he's going to sick her on Magnus. Chris, tell us your claim to fame.
Well, with respect to chess, I would say it's a matter of unrequited love, where I love this game more than it loves me, as you're going to see in a minute. I studied Magnus's games probably more than he did, studying mine, getting ready for this event. And I will conclude by saying last weekend I was with former world champion Garry Kasparov, and I mentioned this game coming up, and I asked for his advice, and there followed a minute of silence.
We understand. And in the middle, Paul Hoffman. He is the director of the Liberty Science Center, graduated from Harvard, summa cum laude. He's a great mathematician, scientist, author of many books. I'm not sure any of that's going to help him today. Paul, what is your chess claim to fame?
So I met Magnus when he was 13 in 2004. He was playing for the World Championship in Tripoli, Libya, and I tried too hard to play chess with Gaddafi and was thrown into jail. So this can't be worse.
Indeed. Thought you were a smart guy. And on the far right is Benga Akinabe, an actor. He acted on The Wire, 24. He's currently on The Following on Fox. He actually played a murderer on The Wire, so he's ready for this. That was his preparation. Benga, what is your chess claim to fame?
I can find Sochi on a map. That's pretty much it.
All right. So, victims to slaughter. Magnus is ready, but we have to do one more step before that. Magnus has to be blindfolded, so let's welcome Allison Fornes, who will blindfold Magnus. Allison, in another life, is a stand-up comedian. This is just to This is the kind of thing, you know, you're getting distracted, blindfolded in the dark just before he goes to play. Thank you, Allison. And I'd also like to welcome two very important gentlemen. First closest to you is Anatoly Bykovsky. He will be making Magnus's moves as Magnus calls out the moves. He's also a grandmaster, and he's saying he just doesn't want to screw this up. That's all he wants. And Pascal Charbonneau, who will be playing out the challengers' moves and calling them out as well. They're both mic'd up. The challenge here, guys, is Magnus will have to keep all three boards in his mind. But not only that, the clock will be ticking. It's a two-phase clock. Each side has 9 minutes. Magnus essentially has a third of their time, and he has to also keep track of all the boards. So the board furthest away from Magnus is board 1, the middle board is board 2, and this board is board 3. The board closest to us is board 3. So that's all he has as reference is board 1, board 2, and board 3. And he has to keep track of all that in his head. You ready, Magnus?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Let's see what we can do. I will try to provide some running commentary. I'll be as light as possible in my comments because, after all, we don't want to distract Magnus too much, although Chris promised to pay me off if I did. Gentlemen, let the match begin.
Board 1, E4. Board 2, D4.
Board 1, black played B6.
B6 or D6?
B, like
boy
boy
6.
6. On board 2, black played knight F6.
Board 1, D4. Board 3, C4.
Board 1, black played bishop B7.
Board 1, bishop D3.
Bishop to D3 on board 1.
And board 3, he played C4.
A little louder, please.
No. I mean, white, I was just on the white move.
So black played C5 on board 2, and black just played E5 on board 3.
Board 3, G3.
Board 1, black played G6.
Board 1, C4.
On board 2, it's your move, and black played C5.
Board 2, D5.
Board 3, black played knight C6.
Board 3, bishop G2.
Board 1, black played bishop G7.
Board 1, knight F3.
Board 2, black played E6.
Board 2, knight C3.
Board 1, black played D6.
E6?
D6, dog 6.
D6.
On board 3, black played F5.
Board 1, knight C3. And board 3, knight C3.
Board 2, black took on D5.
He played E6, I thought D6. Board 2, C takes D5.
Board 1, black played E6.
Board 1, castles.
Board 2, black played D6, pawn to D6.
Board 2, knight F3.
Board 2, black played G6. Board 1, black played H6.
Board 2, bishop F4.
On board 3, black played knight F6.
Board 3, E3. Board 2, it was board 1, it was H6, right?
H6, yeah.
Board 1, bishop E3.
All the challengers are deep in thought.
Board 1, black played knight E7.
E7.
Yeah.
Board 1, queen D2.
On board 3, black played bishop c5. And on board 2, black played a6.
Board 3, knight g2, e2. Board 2, black played a6.
a6, apple 6.
Board 2, a4.
Can you move a little? I can't see.
Board 2, you're at 634, Magnus. 634.
Board 1, you have 630.
f6.
Board 1 just played knight to d7.
Board 1, knight to e2.
Board 2, black played bishop g7.
Board 2, e3.
And board 3, black castled kingside.
Board 3, d4.
Board 2, black castled kingside also.
Board 2, h3.
Board 3, black played e takes d4.
Board 3, e takes d4.
On that board, you have 7 minutes and 15 seconds.
That's better.
3 challengers once again plunge deep into thought. I'm sure Magnus is nervous, wondering when are they going to move.
On board 2, black played queen e7.
Board 2, bishop e2.
On board 3, black played bishop b4.
Board 2, board 3, castles.
Knight bd7.
Sorry, board 2, knight bd7.
Board 2, castles.
On board 3, black played bishop takes c3.
Board 3?
Yes.
Yeah, knight takes c3.
They say that in chess, after the first 4 moves, there are 3 billion possibilities. We're at about move 15 on every board. Gotta wonder how Magnus is keeping track.
On board 2, black played b6, boy 6.
Board 2, rook e1.
On board 3, black played d6.
Board 3, rook e1.
On board 1, black played c6.
Board 1, knight g3.
On board 2, black played bishop b7.
Board 1, board 2, bishop c4.
On board 1, black played queen to c7.
Board 1, rook a to c1.
On board 3, rook to e8.
Board 3, bishop g5.
On board 2, black played knight to h5.
Board 2, bishop h2.
Magnus, you're at 509 on board 2, 551 on board 1.
On board 2, black played knight to e5.
Board 2, knight takes e5.
On board 3, you're at 633.
Black takes back on e5 on board 2 with the bishop.
Bishop takes e5.
On board 2, queen takes e5.
Board 2, queen b3.
As a point of order, if the players lose on time, they lose the game.
On
They
board
run out of
1,
time.
black castled queenside. That's queenside.
That was risky. Board 1, b4.
On board 3, black played h6.
Board 3, bishop takes f6.
On board 2, black played rook f to b8.
F to b8.
B like boy 8.
Makes sense. Board 2, rook 8 to d1.
On board 3, black took on f6 with the g pawn. G takes f6.
Board 3, queen h5.
On board 1, black played king b8.
Board 1, a4.
Board 2, black played bishop to c8.
Board 1, f4.
Board.
No, I mean board 2.
Board two.
2. F4.
Black has 2 minutes and 44 seconds on board 3. Black does.
It's more relevant that the position is lost.
Board 2, black played queen to e7.
Queen to e7.
I mean, E as an egg 7.
Board 2, queen c2.
On board 3, black played bishop e6.
Board 3, queen g6 check.
On board 3, you have 3 minutes more. On board 2, time's about even. And board 1, you have 3 minutes more. And black just played knight to c8.
Board 1, a5.
On board 2, what did you play, Paul? Black played bishop to d7.
Board 2, queen e2.
On board 3, black played king to f8.
Board 3, queen takes h6.
On board 1, black played king to a8.
Board 1, a takes b6.
Board 3, black is down to 136. You have 510.
On board 1, black took on b6 with the c8 knight.
Board 1, rook c1 to a1.
On board 3, black played king to f7.
Board 3, d5.
You're down to 333 on board 2.
On board 1, black played a6.
Board 1, c5.
On board 3, black played rook to h8.
Board 1, d takes e6 check. I mean board
Yeah,
3.
Board 3. Board 3.
Board 3.
On board 1, black played knight back to c8.
Board 1, bishop takes a6.
And on board 2, black played queen to e8.
Board 2, rook d1 to a1.
Okay, on board 1, black played king to b8.
King to b8.
Yes.
Board 1, bishop takes b7.
On board 3, black played king e7.
Board 3, knight d5 check. Mate on next move.
Board.
I took it with queen.
On board one, he played queen takes b7.
Board 1, c takes d6.
On board 2, black played b5.
Board 2, a b5.
On board 3, black played king to e8.
Board 3, queen takes h8.
That is checkmate on board 3. That is 1 down, 2 to go.
On board 1, black played knight takes d6.
Board 1, bishop to f4.
And on board 2, black played a takes b5.
Board 2, rook takes a8.
On board 1, black played e5.
e5. Board 1, d takes e5.
On board 2, black played rook takes a8.
Board 2, bishop takes b5.
Board 1, black played knight takes e5.
Sorry, on board 1, black played.
Knight takes e5.
Okay, board 1, knight takes e5.
Black on board 1 takes on e5 with the bishop.
Board 1, bishop takes e5.
Board 2, black played bishop takes b5.
Board 2, queen takes b5.
Board 1, black played queen to c7.
Queen to c7. Board 1, queen to a2.
Board 2, queen d8, David 8.
Board 2, queen to d3.
On board 1, black played
Queen B7.
b7.
Queen b7.
Boy
Be like
7.
boy
Boy
seven,
7.
Board 1, rook e to d1. It's probably on f1, but doesn't matter.
Rook f to d1.
Rook.
On board 2, black played rook b8. Like boy.
Board 2, queen d2.
On board 1, black played king to c7.
King to c7.
Yeah.
Board 1, queen takes f7 check.
On
Black
board
is
2,
down to 13 seconds on board
board 2,
1.
black played queen b6.
I resign.
Board
I'd like
1,
to resign before I lose.
Black has resigned on board 1. You're down to
b6,
1
I
game.
play rook rook to b1.
rook b1.
Black has 23 seconds. You have a minute and 6 seconds.
Black played queen b3.
e4.
Black played c4.
e5.
Black has 14 seconds.
Queen b6 check.
King h2.
Pawn takes e5.
F takes e5.
Black has 8 seconds left.
This doesn't look fun.
Queen to d8.
Queen to d8.
Yes.
e6.
And the time is up. Black has run out of time. Magnus wins on all boards. An amazing display.
Congratulations, sir. Good job.
Thanks a lot, man.
An absolutely incredible feat of memory, skill, concentration.
You had an excellent position just a couple of minutes ago. So well, that one was difficult.
Thank you.
Magnus, if you may, please share a few words with us. This was the first time you've ever done this. I know you've done blindfold exhibitions before, but with the clock, did that make much of a difference as you were playing?
Yeah, it really makes all the difference. Without the clock, people playing in turn, then I can do I can do a lot more than 3 boards, but now it was really stressful with a limited amount of time. But fortunately for me, at some point, I started to get some advantage in the games, and Paul was doing really well, but his time was running out, so he had to spend too much time to find those good moves.
Indeed. Tell us, did you train for this at all?
No, not playing with the clock. So I've played a few blindfold simuls before, but with the clock, yeah, that's a different matter entirely.
Did you feel clarity? It seemed like you had total control over what was going on in your head. Explain to a lay audience what it's like to be able to play such a match.
Well, the thing is that you only need to keep one game in your head at a time. So
only one game at a time.
But the thing is, it's a little bit difficult to play when I have no idea what my time is, if I'm running out of time. But you know, it's manageable for a good chess player to play blindfold. But really, the time control does not allow me any time to think, to ponder over my moves, and that's really the difficult part.
Are you ready to take on 6 challengers next time?
Well, I need more than 9 minutes then, because time got a little short. But really, it's very interesting to play blindfold chess, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh, did we enjoy it, ladies and gentlemen?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for a spectacular exhibition, Magnus. Give it up for the Mozart of chess, one of the great geniuses of our time, Magnus Carlsen. Fantastic. And gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Magnus Carlsen, for donating your time here today at the Sohn conference. Magnus's goal is to bring chess to the world with a focus on youth. When he's not playing chess, he's finding ways to use chess as a fun tool to help make the world a smarter place. If you want to find out how to get involved with Magnus's work in chess and find out about his company, Play Magnus, reach out to his management via his website, magnuscarlsen.com.